Good evening. Today I'm going to be reviewing my Strapcode Super J Louis Jubilee bracelet, which I fitted to my Seiko SKX009, as you can see. So firstly I'm going to talk you through the items that come with the bracelet, and then I'll show you the bracelet in detail. I paid $125 for the bracelet, including VAT and FedEx shipping. So the bracelet itself costs $70, and one has to add the additional VAT and $25 FedEx shipping. So very expensive bracelet at $25. The bracelet comes protected in this resealable plastic bag, and one also gets a troubleshooting guide. So there are these two cards which come with the bracelet. On the back of the card we have bullet points which talk you through troubleshooting points, and there's also two diagrams which show you how to fit the end links in the case. The solid end links come with fat Seiko style spring bars which fits the SKX case, and one also has a further two diagrams which detail troubleshooting tips if you have problems seating the fat spring bars into the lugs of your watch case. So very useful troubleshooting guide if you're unfamiliar with Strapcode bracelets and the solid end links they use. And it also has the domain name for Strapcode, strapcode.com. One also gets these two rubber sleeves, and they have Miltat on them. Now the purpose of these rubber sleeves is to keep the fat spring bars from popping out of the solid end links when the bracelet is in transit, and they work very well as sleeves to prevent the spring bars coming loose. Now with regards to Miltat, I'll explain something about that. These bracelets are sold under the Strapcode brand name both on strapcode.com and also amazon.com, but they're also sold under the brand name of Miltat. So if you're doing a search on amazon.com or amazon.co.uk, it's worth searching for Strapcode bracelets, but it's also worth searching for Miltat bracelets, because sometimes these Strapcode bracelets are exclusively listed as Miltat bracelets even though they're the same thing. And it's often the case that on Amazon the prices of the bracelets are significantly less expensive than buying them directly from Strapcode. So when I was searching for this bracelet, I checked the prices on Amazon and also Strapcode, and I actually found that the price was equal on both sites, so I decided to buy directly from strapcode.com. But I have previously bought Strapcode Oyster bracelets and found they were significantly less expensive on amazon.co.uk. So that's something to bear in mind. Do a search for both Miltat and also for Strapcode. So with regards to the bracelet itself, it's 22mm at the lugs, and it tapers down to 18mm at the 2-button push flip-lock clasp. So very well executed 2-button push flip-lock clasp, nice thick gauge of metal, and plenty of micro adjustments to get a very good fit on that flip-lock. I really like the V shape of the flip-lock, and also there's a very nice recess for one's thumbnail or fingernail to fit underneath the V-shaped flip-lock to make it easier to pop up. Nice thick gauge to the flip-lock itself, very well executed brushed satin finish to the 316L grade stainless steel used. I also like the large chamfer or bevel on the edge, which is polished to a flawless mirror finish on both sides of the flip-lock clasp. It just adds a nice quality aesthetic and also demonstrates the thickness of the heavy gauge metal. Very nicely executed. The 2-button push flip-lock has plenty of resistance. I like this positive spring action of the 2-button push. When one opens it, one can see that it has a solid stainless steel milled clasp. Again, it's finished to perfection with a brushed satin finish on the top side, underside, and also the flanks of the milled interior. Very nicely executed, good quality solid mill clasp, and a very nicely tight fitted hinge pin. So no play or extra articulation in either the flip lock, the hinge, or the other end which fits to the end of the Jubilee bracelet. It really is very nicely executed, minimal play in the flip lock itself. Really pleasure to use, and also just beautiful to look at. I just like the execution of it. It's the kind of solid mill clasp one would expect on a Swiss-made mid-tier or high-tier piece. It really is very good quality, and certainly an improvement on the pressed metal clasp that Seiko use. Another aspect I really like about this Jubilee bracelet is the use of solid end links. The end links are a very good fit to the SKX case, and Strapcode also make a case-specific bracelet for the 5KX with different spring bars, because The SKX uses fat spring bars which will not fit the 5KX case. Now, the other notable difference I've discussed in my 5KX review is the 5KX case has holes in the lugs, and the holes are actually a smaller diameter hole than the fat spring bar holes used in the SKX. So the SKX and 5KX spring bars are not interchangeable, although you can fit an SKX bracelet to a 5KX and vice versa. So I would say to you, if you're going to order one of these Jubilee bracelets for your 5KX or your SKX, be very careful to make sure you order the correct bracelet for your 5KX or SKX respectively, because there are slight differences in the diameters of the spring bars, and also the end links are slightly different as well. So with regards to the finishing, I absolutely love the brushed satin finish of the outer links. There are 5 links which are all solid. The 3 centre links are polished to a flawless mirror finish. Now, one thing I really like about this bracelet is the 3D effect of the transition between the end links and also the links of the bracelet. It's got a nice 3D 2 ribs to the end link, and they really are polished to a flawless mirror finish, and I really like that 3D aspect. They give a nice overhang to the first links of the bracelet. Very nice articulation with minimal play. The bracelet isn't lightweight and rattly like a standard Seiko bracelet. It's got good heft to it because of the 5 solid links. On the underside, all 5 links are brushed into a flawless satin finish, and I really like the finishing of the end link and also the brushed satin finish of those 5 links. They really are polished to a very nice finish. And as you can see, looking at the interior, it has Miltat laser etched. So this is a Strapcode bracelet, but as I've said, it's also sold under the Miltat name. So when you search on Amazon, remember to search for Miltat. So very nicely finished, and I like the flawless flanks. They're polished to a mirror finish, which beautifully complements the 3 centre mirror polished links in the bracelet. So just a very well made bracelet which has good heft to it. It's immediately apparent when you put this bracelet on the watch that it's significantly heavier, has more heft than the standard hollow centre link Jubilee bracelet with hollow end links, and also the pressed metal clasp. Now, with regards to the execution of the 2-button push flip lock, nice positive clicking action to the clasp, and nice positive click to the V-shaped flip lock. So I really like that execution. I like the action of it. It's really reassuring that you get a good positive click when opening and closing the bracelet. I like that loud clicking sound and positive action. So just a very well made flip lock with a 2-button push. So I'll give you a wrist shot and you can see how it fits on my 8-inch wrist. Now, I didn't need to size this bracelet, which I was actually very pleased about. I have an 8-inch wrist, and it's often the case that I need to remove 1 or 2 links from a bracelet. As you can hear, a very loud positive click, and again a secondary reassuring click to the flip lock. I really like that positive action. So I didn't need to remove any links. This fits my 8-inch wrist, and as you can see, there's just the index finger of room underneath for wrist expansion in warmer weather or when one's active. I like to size my bracelet so that I can either fit my little finger or alternatively my index finger underneath the bracelet at all times, and that allows for wrist expansion. So I really like that about this bracelet. It fits up to an 8-inch wrist, as you can see, with no problems. Now, the brushed satin finish on that 2-button push flip lock is absolutely flawless. I really like the sheen of the grain of the metal of that 316L grade stainless steel. Very aesthetically pleasing. And I also like the contrast between the mirror finishing of the 3 centre links and the brushed satin finish of the 2 outer links of those 5 links on the bracelet. So very aesthetically pleasing, and just really complements the SKX009, as you can see. I think it's the perfect bracelet for the watch. I didn't want to go for the Strapcode Super J Angus bracelet, which has larger links, because that's moving too far away from the original standard look of the Jubilee bracelet that comes on the SKX. I think that the Super J Louis bracelet that you're looking at here, which was previously known as the Super Oyster bracelet, a Super Jubilee bracelet, it looks more like the standard Seiko bracelet. So I prefer that standard stock look rather than a modified look of the Super J Angus. So very aesthetically pleasing, incredibly comfortable. The 2 things I want to talk about are the feel-good factor when looking at this bracelet. Incredibly pleasing, top feel-good factor. In terms of comfort, it feels silky smooth. It's a very comfortable bracelet to wear. I would say that it's as comfortable as the original Seiko Jubilee bracelet that comes on the SKX. So very nicely executed, very well finished. Now, are there any negatives to the bracelet? Well, I would say none whatsoever. I'm very critical when it comes to watches and also bracelets, as you'll know from my previous reviews, but I can honestly say that this bracelet simply cannot be improved upon. It's perfection. I really like it. I think it's just a very well made bracelet, and it's the kind of bracelet you would expect to see on a mid-tier or high-tier watch due to the use of screw pins rather than push pins, the solid end links, and also that 2-button push flip-lock clasp with a nice heavy gauge of metal. The finishing is outstanding, and really I think it's a case of one gets what one pays for. It's often the case with watch bracelets that they are the weak points. For example, one can buy a good watch, even a Swiss mid-tier watch, and it will often be the bracelet that lets the watch down, either the execution of the solid end links or the execution of the 2-button push flip-lock clasp is poor. They'll often come with a lightweight pressed metal flip-lock, or alternatively just a light gauge of milled solid flip-lock. But I really like the weight of this, everything about it. The links add heft to the watch. The 2-button push flip-lock also adds heft to the bracelet. So it really does give the SKX009 a more quality feel, because it's something I always disliked about my SKX007s that I previously owned. I really like the design of the SKX. I love everything about it, both the SKX007 and 009 respectively. But I just was always disappointed with the lightweight, cheap, rattly feel of both the Oyster bracelet and the Jubilee bracelet that come on the watch. So lastly, I'll talk about something else. This is now referred to as the Strapcode Super J Louis bracelet. Previously, Strapcode used to describe it on their website as the Strapcode Super Jubilee bracelet, but they ran into legal difficulties with Rolex SA Geneva. They were actually prosecuted by Rolex SA Geneva and ordered to cease and desist using both the Jubilee and Oyster names, which are trademarked under Rolex SA Geneva. So they've now changed the names of their Strapcode Super Oyster and Strapcode Super Jubilee bracelets respectively to Strapcode Super J Louis for this Jubilee bracelet and Strapcode Super O Boyer for their Strapcode Super Oyster bracelets. So that's something else to also bear in mind. If you're searching on Amazon, use the Miltat and Strapcode search words, but also use Super J Louis and Super O Boyer, because they're the new names used for these bracelets. For example, if you type in Strapcode Super Oyster or Strapcode Super Jubilee, you'll find less bracelets come up in the search results because those names are now discontinued since the legal action. So that's something to bear in mind. So I really like it. My only criticism is the price, and that's largely due to the VAT and also the additional $25 FedEx shipping charge. It's a shame that Strapcode don't give the option of airmail, which would be significantly less expensive than paying $25 to ship the bracelet. So where are these bracelets made? Well, Strapcode make the bracelets in Hong Kong, and I bought the watch on Strapcode.com, the bracelets on Strapcode.com, and 7 days later I received the bracelet in Ireland. So very fast shipping via FedEx, but very expensive. So another thing I like about it is it doesn't rattle. It hasn't got that rattly feeling that a Seiko Hollow Link and Hollow End Link Jubilee bracelet has. The links feel more tight, they feel stiffer. It really does have a similar kind of feel to it to a Rolex Jubilee bracelet that one would get on a Datejust. It has that kind of feel of a slightly worn or stretched Rolex Datejust Jubilee, or even a Rolex GMT Master 2 Jubilee bracelet. And I like it. I like the articulation of the 5 links. They definitely articulate more than a 3-link Jubilee bracelet, and I like the fact that they move around the wrist, and because of that it has a more weightless and comfortable feel. I also like the fact that the underside is completely brushed satin finish, so that gives a very silky smooth feel against the skin. Very comfortable bracelet to wear, and because of the gaps in between the centre links, it means that it allows sweat to escape from the wrist in warmer weather or when one is more active. So very cool and comfortable bracelet to wear in hot weather conditions, and I really like that aspect. I think it's an advantage the Jubilee bracelet has over the Oyster bracelet or rubber straps, for example, to allow perspiration to escape from the skin on the wrist. So very practical, and I really like the bracelet. I highly recommend this bracelet for your consideration, regardless of whether you own a Seiko 5KX or a Seiko SKX. I really do think it enhances the piece. I think it really gives the watch a more heavy feel. I like the extra heft and the quality look of it. I think it's aesthetically pleasing, but it's also very comfortable to wear and also gives excellent feel-good factor. So highly recommend it. I hope you've enjoyed my review of my Strapcode Super J Louis Jubilee bracelet. Please feel free to post your own comments below the video. Thank you very much.